Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kendrick McMillan. I'm super excited to have you guys here. Today, I wanted to share real quick a market recap for July 20th, 2026. Today was a banger trade. Um, Man, it's just been great just to be consistent and follow through with all of your rules. Um, and I just want to be able to share what my setup was for the day when it came to my trading for the day. But before I start, I want to let you all know that again, I am just sharing my trading journey. I am not a financial advisor. The trades I take are for me. Um, and hopefully, these videos that I create for you give you some type of guidance, give you some type of encouragement to never quit and just stick with your guns when it comes to your specific trading journey. With that being said, let's tap into it. So, as you all know, I trade SPY, the ticker symbol SPY or QQQ. Um, on a regular day, I'm typically trading SPY. So starting off, like I do every day, I will mark out my previous day high. Friday the 17th, the high was at 747.29, and the low of the day was around 740.83. So I marked those two key levels out, and then I also mark out the pre-market high for today and the pre-market low for the day. The pre-market high was around 48.03, and then the pre-market low was at not 48.3. The pre-market high was at 748.03. Pre-market low was around 743.35. Now, typically, I don't have all this stuff on the charts. I typically would mark out higher time frame zones. If you go on the 4 hour, I noticed that price created a nice demand zone. We have this smooth rally up here. Price rallied back down. So we are in a area where price is known to rally strong. Um, so I marked out this demand zone here, and we also have a supply zone up here that I marked out as well. Now, do I trade off of the 4 hour zones immediately? No. I just keep an eye out for those key areas just in case. For the day though, um, I typically go to my 5 minute. Once I have my pre-market high, previous day high, pre-market low, previous day low marked out. I wait until the market opens. So this morning when the market opened, we had a smooth rally up, breaking past previous day high and pre-market high, sweeping that liquidity. Um, as you all know, there's liquidity all around the markets. There's liquidity everywhere. But for me, when I day trade, I'm looking for where is price more prone to go towards, either the highs or the lows, and I base my trade for the day around that idea. So when the market opened, price rallied up to previous day highs, and it also swept pre-market highs. And from there, I noticed that price was losing momentum to continue up. So we got that turnaround, sweeping that liquidity, and as it was turning around towards the previous pre-market high and previous day high on the downside, that's when I had actually took an entry for one contract, for a put contract. I got into one put contract and rallied that price down. And what I typically do, as you all know, I trade supply and demand. With supply and demand, with supply and demand, I typically just wait for my setup to present itself. Because I swept liquidity and I got into a put contract, I was already in profit as the price was rallying down. Price reached around, let me see, price reached around 745.52, and I noticed that there was a slight pullback. That pullback was one of my indication that buyers are stepping in to create that pullback. I noticed that price created a breaker structure off of that 745.67 price, and it also created my supply zone that I was looking for a setup. From there, because it created that supply zone, I was looking for price to rally out, retest that supply zone for a continuation, and we actually got that. Typically, I will look for 1-to-1, 1-to-2. What I've been doing lately is marking the 1-to-1s out. And so as you can see, price rallied down. It broke out of that supply zone. I'm still holding that one contract, but it broke out of that supply zone and retested in that supply zone. And once I got that breakout, that's when I actually got into 4 more contracts. Each contract ran me about, I believe each contract at that price was about $60. That's around 300 and some change. Um, yeah, about $300, and it gave me a 1-to-1 quickly within the first 5 to 10 minutes. Um, as you can see, market gave me a nice 1-to-1 here, and I marked that out. So when the price rallied out of that supply zone, that's when I created this my 1-to-1, 1-to-2, just so that I can see where I'm going to be able to potentially get out of the trades. So I was looking for this rally down. Price rallied down and gave me that clean 1-to-1. Once it reached my 1-to-1, I was already strong in my profits, and I took all of my profits except one runner. I let one runner run down until it almost tapped my 1-to-2, and once I started seeing some rejection and some hesitation, that's when I just got out the trade. And that was it. Gave me a clean 1-to-1 for the day. As you can see, clean 1-to-1. And this right here gave me about a clean, I would say roughly like a 1.77 for the day. Not quite a 1-to-2, but it definitely gave me close to a 1-to-2. And that's the thing. When it comes to trading and when it comes to scalping the markets, we have to remember that we are retail traders. We are not ones that create these markets. We don't create these candles. So we have to be willing to take what the market actually gives you, and pay yourself. I think that I believe, this is just my opinion, I believe the trading industry, especially when it comes to retail traders, they'll create their setup, but they're not paying themselves as the price rallies down. Make sure that you're paying yourself. Make sure that you're actually doing your due diligence and pay yourself as the market is giving what you need for the day. If you see, basically the market rallied from the top at 748.71 all day, and I could have held on all day, but I am a scalper, and I'm recognized that in the beginning stages, where if the market's giving me a 1-to-1, I'm paying myself immediately. If it's going to give me a little bit extra, I'm still going to take that, and I'm going to be grateful with what the market gave me for the day. I could have held on, but I'm not that greedy. I'm not in this to get the whole run. I'm in this to make money consistently every day with the simple system and process that I take and run it. You know what I mean? So with that, again, I was able to catch a nice clean setup 1-to-1 this morning, and I let one of my runners go for a couple bucks, for a couple bucks here and there, and I was done for the day. As you can see on the far right, I was able to gross about $568 for the day, and I'm grateful. With those 5 contracts, like I said, I had gotten to one. I think the contract was $50. As the contract was rallying back down here, that contract rallied about $70, close to $80, and I got into 4 more contracts, which gave me more buying pressure, more buying power. And with those 4 contracts, I waited until the price rallied and retested and validated this supply zone for continuation down, and I was done for the day. So again, the strategy I use typically starts with some type of liquidity sweep. Um, and that's basically what I look for every day. I look for some type of liquidity sweep, whether it's from the buying side or the selling side, and I take my entry once it taps back into either that pre-market high or previous day high. And then I'll wait patiently for my actual setup. If I don't see it and I'm still green and I'm still seeing like maybe a reversal back up or down, then I will probably just reset, take my profits, and wait to see what price wants to do. That happens sometimes. And sometimes it kind of like goes your way, like today. I would consider this somewhat of an A plus setup because it followed my rules. I watched, waited for market to open, it rallied and swept liquidity. Swept by sweeping liquidity, I got into the downside for today, got into a downside, saw my supply zone, it tapped out, retested that supply zone for continuation, and that was my trade for the day. Hopefully this helps someone on their on their journey or on your journey. Again, you have to have set rules when it comes to trading. Um, you don't need to make trading difficult. It only gets difficult when you go out the box and start doing all of this other stuff and like hemorrhaging your account or over trading or doing all this extra stuff. I knew for the day that I wanted to only trade a certain amount of money, and I knew that I was willing to take that risk on my account with that said amount of money. So go into these trades with a plan, make sure that you execute that plan and stick with the process and the steps to be able to get to the trades that you're looking for on a day-to-day basis. With that being said, I'm so glad that I'm able to share. Hopefully, again, this video helps inspire and motivate someone. If you can, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below if you can, and let me know how your day trading went for the day. And yeah, I'll see you for tomorrow. We're going to trade for another day. I'm excited for all of us to win, excited for all of us to be able to take care of ourselves. With that being said, you all be blessed, stay safe, be kind to each other, be kind to yourself, and let's trade for another day. I'll see you tomorrow, all right? Blessings.